So I have really young kids. My daughter is 7, my son is 5, my other son is 1 at the time of this recording. And it's interesting because I'm already now starting to see some parents that are living vicariously through their like 5-year-old. And they're almost like trying to recreate the life that they didn't have through their 5-year-old. And I'm like, oh man, I feel so badly for that 5-year-old because all that I want is for my kids to live their life. I want my kids to aspire to do whatever it is they want to do. I have nothing unfulfilled from my childhood. And my childhood was a freaking roller coaster. My parents went through a vicious divorce when I was 6 years old. I'm sure there's worse divorces than theirs, but it was pretty trying. And these are two wonderful humans that just weren't wonderful together. And when it comes to a divorce, they did everything you could possibly do wrong. Emotional roller coaster, economic roller coaster, fighting, restraining orders, tension. If there was one word to define my childhood, it was loud. There was just nowhere for me to go for peace or solace. And I committed when I was 20 years old to ensure that by the time that I became a father, which wasn't when I was 20, but whenever that was going to happen, that my children would have a very different upbringing than I had. And the word that showed up for me was freedom. I don't remember ever thinking about that word until that very moment, but I remember when it hit me, I said to myself, what is freedom? Like, what does that even mean? Like, have you ever taken the time to define the word freedom? What would that even mean to you? So I took out my little iPad, my little laptop at the time, and there was 13 different categories of freedom. My health, my career, my finances, my spirituality, etc. And I started just to define what freedom meant within each of these 13 categories. And about an hour later, I had like 20 pages typed out, and I started reading what I wrote. And what I realized in that moment is that there's no one that I know that has anything on that piece of paper. And if I'm gonna want what no one that I know has, I'd be willing to do what no one that I know has done. And that's really what I committed my life to. I immersed myself into entrepreneurship. By the time my daughter was born, I had that freedom. And I committed to never negotiating with that freedom. But what's interesting about this statement and this premise is that my freedom isn't necessarily my daughter's or my son's freedom. My only dream and hope for them is that they can create dreams for themselves. And if you're a parent watching this and you feel like you're living vicariously through your child, you're feeling the need to put them into certain sporting teams or different activities that you weren't able to fulfill as a child, please check in with them to make sure that they're pursuing their dream. Yes, when kids are young, expose them to all different activities, but keep it fun and exciting. Ensure that all they're doing is showing up and giving their best effort. That's the single most important thing. That they're just leaving it all on the field, or leaving it all on the court, or leaving it all in school. They know there's nothing more they could have done. And when I think about my childhood, I really don't have many like distinct memories, probably because it was pain and loud, and I don't remember my parents like preventing me from dreaming. If anything, I think it was the opposite. I think they said, Jared, go dream, go create the life you desire. And that's one thing they did really right with me, because as parents, they were wonderful. But with regards to their marriage, it was tough. And as a byproduct for me, what it created was a baseline of what I didn't want with regards to what I have with my now wife. And that's really important. So for you as a parent, it's never easy. It's never easy. There's no playbook to try to figure out parenthood. The one thing I'm going to encourage you to do, the one thing I'm going to say should be a non-negotiable for you, is don't try to fill voids from your childhood with your children. Let them go and pursue their dreams, and just ensure that as they show up, they have really great values. Those values are instilled, and they can go make their dreams a reality.